Hey guys, welcome back. We are Alyssa and Emily of Revolt Hair Studio, and Emily is joining us tonight to talk about being able to take care of your hair at home while we're all sitting around and enjoying our family's company. But more importantly, she is going to tell us a little bit about herself, how she started, why she started, um, things that really make Emily passionate about the world of hair and some continued education that she's been doing in the meantime.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with how I got into hair. I feel like it's kind of something that runs in my family. My grandmother is a hairstylist, so is my cousin, actually, a couple of my cousins. Um, so I don't know if that sparked my interest. I remember my grandma used to watch us a lot when I was little, and she would put on like the braiding videos and stuff to keep us occupied. Um, I do remember the smell of perms, which I didn't like, but
Nobody likes the perm.
it's awful. But yeah, I don't know. I always kind of felt inspired by that. I remember actually like in third grade too, playing with my friend's hair during like reading time and things like that. So it's just always something that I liked doing. Um, I didn't really pursue it until after high school, but I definitely had an interest in it and kind of decided that it was the career path I wanted to go. I would say like 10th grade on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can say too, I remember literally when you have those like carpet squares in school and you all sit on a carpet
Yes.
square, and I would just sit there and just like rake through people's hair, and I got it all the time. They're like, Alyssa, well, then I was AJ. AJ, you can't play with people's hair. This isn't a beauty salon. So like ever since I started doing hair, I've only wanted to go back to grade school and been like, look at what
Yeah,
happened.
this is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think too, it's like such a I think I mean, obviously we're all creative, but I think too, there's got to be some kind of like textural touching thing that we like have to have, kind of.
Yeah, I could see
So,
that. It's like almost therapeutic. Like I feel like when I get really into doing hair, it's really is like meditative.
absolutely. And I know too that you also are into meditation a lot. And I know during this time that you've been kind of diving a little bit deeper into that, and you started creating your own brand inside of our brand, which is the Be Mindful Beauty. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I've been doing a business building program, really for all hairstylists. It varies between like salon owners, booth renters, or even just like super fresh out of beauty school. Anybody that's in hair, it just teaches you the whole business side of it and how to grow your book on your own so that you don't have to rely on your salon. And I mean, I'm very grateful. I feel like you do a really good job at giving us guests, but it's kind of my way at growing in my own chair and giving back to you guys too, because I want to be able to, I don't know, just be the best stylist I can be.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so it took me a while to come up with a brand. I wanted something that kind of encapsulated like everything that we stand for at Revolt with our like organic beauty and being really clean. And also, I feel like we're in that environment where we're around a lot of people who are, I guess, more mindful, more aware of the things around them. And not that if you aren't, it's bad, but I wanted something that would kind of like capture that whole feeling and that whole vibe. So I feel like that kind of does it for me.
I love
Um,
it. And you designed your own
yeah,
logo
thanks.
too, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it was nice to have this time because I just spent a couple of days working on it and it was fun.
So, and some people may know or may not know that you're actually a extremely talented artist. So, not only are you fantastic at doing hair and coloring and styling and cutting, but when it comes to a pencil and paper, like you're knocking the socks off things. Like
Oh,
I've seen some of
thanks.
your stuff and it's really, really talented. So, I can say that I was and also wasn't surprised when you launched your logo and said that you designed it yourself because I know how talented you are. So that was super cool to see a different side of you from what I get to see in the salon too.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, I think now thinking back on that, my love for art definitely sparked a passion in the beauty industry.
Mm.
I just love that I'm still able to be creative in my career and really create art, but it's just a different medium. It's hair. And oddly enough, before going to beauty school, I was actually considering switching my major to graphic design. But then beauty school came up, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
That's awesome. I feel like too, there's so many times where like those little things are like tied in together. So like you're saying that you were like looking at graphic design. My
Hmm.
dad actually owned a graphic design company for 40 years. So like you've got like these little bits and pieces, and there's so many people on our team that actually I think everyone except for me and Jill all has family members who are stylists and or
That's
like
awesome.
related to stylists. So then, but like you're pulling from graphic design. Brandy wanted to be an art instructor. You know, like there's all these different elements that are being pulled into it that I think really help to kind of create the culture that we have at the salon also, which
Yeah,
is really cool.
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, I do. I feel like I said before, like doing hair is just another medium of art, and we really are all artists creating together. And I think that's just another thing that we all can share together.
Absolutely. So for your bee image, is there anything in particular that really resonated or kind of rose to the occasion, was like this is what it needs to be, or is it like a play on the be mindful?
Yeah, well, it's more like a play on words. I have a whole list in my phone of like puns and play on words that I wanted to do with hair. And I couldn't really, like, I wanted to do something that was kind of like a play on words, but also captured that vibe
Mhm.
that I'm going for. And I feel like that was the one. So it was really more to get that play on words, but I've also always been a nature lover, and well, maybe not as a kid. As a kid I didn't really like bugs, but but now I do. And I think bumblebees are pretty cute because they're just like
A big old
fat
fuzzy
and
butt.
dopey. Yeah, they just got little fuzzy pollen butts. They're cute.
Who doesn't love
So
a fuzzy butt? I mean, seriously.
yeah, really.
And I think you had hatched butterflies last year too, right?
Yeah, I
Is that a
did.
word? You hatched them?
Yeah, yeah, I guess they were hatched. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I still have some actually. They're like, so apparently, I hatched some monarchs and I hatched some black swallowtails. And apparently, the black swallowtails, they have like two different periods of hatching. So the first group hatches, I forget exactly when, but it's probably like early to mid spring. And then the second group, they hibernate over the winter. So I didn't know that. So I have, I want to say probably about 8 of them still
That's
that are
awesome.
hibernating. Yeah. So I Googled it and it said that they're supposed to start hatching, I think, end of April, early May. So it'll be
That's
fun to
super
see.
cool.
Yeah,
Give you something to do in the downtime for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So why don't you jump in, and I might jump in and join you for certain things, but why don't you
Sure.
jump in and give us a little bit of information about what you wanted to share with us on our podcast today?
Sure. So I really wanted to go over like how to take care of your hair during this time, what you can be doing at home, not only to make your hair feel better, but also give yourself a little pampering that I think we all can use from time to time.
Hmm.
So really, like what I've been taking advantage of is not doing my hair. Which is kind of
Yep.
a laziness choice, but also like the less you're putting heat on your hair, the better your hair is going to be. So I'm trying not to wash more than twice a week. If you can go longer than that, it's always better. I feel like I get a little oily like third, fourth day though. So yeah, I've been doing that, just really putting less heat on my hair. Now is a great time to do masks, and we have various masks through Revolt. I think, are we still doing like online orders for products?
We can. So, everyone, if you are needing any sort of product, you can certainly text us at 484-773-2542. You are able to call it. It's not set up for email though. So if I don't answer, just make sure that you send us a text to follow up to make sure that we are able to take care of you.
Awesome. Yeah. So with that being said, I think we have a lot of really good masks through Surface. If you're looking for more like moisture and you feel like your color is a little bit duller, we have a Basu mask, which is really nice. We also have our newer mask, which I really love, and it's great for blondes or even I feel like it's really good for any hair color, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
It brings your hair back to life, for lack of better words. It has the antioxidants in it, and it also has a little bit of that amaranth protein. So it's going to strengthen your hair while also moisturizing it and brightening it. The antioxidants help to get rid of free radicals, which can cloud up your hair color. So it's just a nice like reset treatment, brighten it all back up.
Yeah, we did a live today on our Facebook page, and that was
That's
about
great.
the violet and the rose gold. And so we were talking about that. And we've had a handful of guests who aren't even blonde that have actually purchased the violet nourishing mask because of the way that it made their hair feel. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, before this whole quarantine thing, I used it on a couple of brunettes, and I really liked it.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's limited to just blondes.
No,
Get
certainly.
myself some too.
Awesome. So I know that you mentioned the Basu mask for nourishing and hydrating, the
Yeah.
violet mask for kind of brightening blondes, but also not specific to blonde, can work also for brunettes. And I think we have two other masks too, right?
Yes, we do. So for curly girls, we have a curls mask, which is awesome. It helps to reduce frizziness in your hair. I feel like it helps to just sort of like, can't think of a good word to describe it, but instead of having your curls all frizzy and separated, it just helps to redefine them and give you some hydration. It also has that amaranth protein in there that's going to strengthen up your locks, as well as shea butter and cocoa butter, which is great for hydrating curls. And then
Yeah.
lastly, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, not yes, but no. So you
Okay,
had done a cut on a curly mannequin last year and done a
I
curls bake to
did.
them. And if you are able to drop that when we post this, if you're able to drop that in the comment section below so people can see that transformation from what that curly hair would look like typically compared to what the curls bake was able to provide for that hair. I think that's a really great visual representation.
Yeah, absolutely. I can put that in the comments or however you want me to
Awesome.
add it. Yeah, so I think on that mannequin, I definitely did the curls bake. So I shampooed her with the curl shampoo. I believe I conditioned her. I can't quite remember. It was a while ago. And then we did the curls mask, baked that in under the dryer and rinsed it out. And then when I styled her, I used I used a Curls Whip mousse, which is sort of like a leave-in conditioner, and that also has the anti-humidity built into it. So
Mhm.
that's one of my go-tos. I love that one. And then I also used the frizz-free spray gel, so that gave her a little bit of hold and really helped to define those curls and get rid of any little frizzy bits that she had. So I'll send them before and after because her before was kind of
Awesome.
wild.
She was a little cray.
Yeah, yeah, she needed it. She had some bedhead. Yeah, and then so our last mask is the Awaken. So the Awaken line is all about regrowing your hair or strengthening it. It's especially good for people that like have just had a baby and you have uh, all that hair loss after giving birth, or even just like from stress, medications, anything like that. If you feel like your hair is thinning over time, it helps to add nutrients back into the hair and kind of rejuvenate that hair follicle. It does it without what's it called? I guess without drugs, which is minoxidil, which is
Yeah.
normally in your Rogaine or Nioxin. So I really love that it's drug free in that sense, but it also is super effective at making sure the hormones and all of that don't affect your hair growth. I've been using not the mask, but the whole other line on my scalp, and actually the spray and the treatment drops on my eyebrows, like right in the corner,
Yes.
and it's exciting. So they're coming back. But the mask is awesome because that's going to give you 30% faster results with your hair growth. But not only that, it is also great for treating scalp issues like dry scalp, even an oily scalp. It helps to balance everything out, as well as like if you have dandruff, psoriasis, eczema, anything like that, that's a skin condition, is going to help go in and treat that.
Awesome. So I know that once we get back into the salon and we're able to take care of our guests, all of these masks actually have a particular treatment that is lined up with them. Also, do you want to tell us about the treatments that we offer?
So like the mask madness, is that what you mean?
So we will honor the Mask Magnus, but as far as like the Max Repair, the Curls Bake, Scalp Facial, the Violet
Right.
brightening treatment, all of that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So we have various different reparative treatments. They are all 35, I believe, or they're all the
Yep.
same. Okay. So we have our Max Repair, which all new guests get. It's a really great one that I think is good for pretty much all hair types because we start off with our purifying shampoo, and that helps to get rid of any buildup that could be in the hair, whether it's from like maybe over the counter products that can have plastics in them, or if you have like chlorine built up in your hair, or maybe some minerals from your hard water, it's going to help remove all of that. And also get rid of some free radicals so it can brighten your color. And for blondes, it actually can make your hair appear up to 2 shades lighter, which is pretty awesome. So we go in and we purify you with that, and then add in some of that amaranth flower protein. So that's going to strengthen it up. It's going to help maintain your color longer because that color and proteins are attracted to each other. So it's going to give that color something to hold on to. Then we also add in our Basu mask and our Basu oil. The Basu mask is great for adding some hydration and moisture, as well as the Basu oil that's going to help take those proteins and carry it further into the hair. It sort of acts like a carrier oil because it has a very low melting point. So it's absorbed really easily into the hair.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is definitely one of my favorites too. I mean, honestly, they're all so good. I don't even think I could choose. Um, so what else do we have? So that is our Max Repair. So that one we use the Bossy mask for. And then our blonde, is it blonde reset?
The Blonde Reset is with the Violet shampoo and conditioner, but the
Right.
new the Blonde
That's it.
Nourishing
Okay.
treatment. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's the blonde nourishing treatment. So that is we shampoo with, this one's new, so I'm not super familiar with it. I think it's
Yeah,
the we shampoo and condition with the purple, correct?
you could.
Okay.
So I think the way that it's set up from surface is that we're washing with the Basu shampoo and conditioner,
Okay.
and then we're baking the Violet mask in with Basu oil, like the Max Repair.
Right.
So
Okay.
bake them damp under the dryer with a hood or a cap, and then rinse it out, and then we can use the Violet blow dry cream after.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's another one of my favorites, like I was saying before, because I feel like it's not limited to just those blondes. You can use it on anybody that needs a little extra brightening or a little strengthening.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, so talking about strengthening, then we also have our Trinity volume treatment,
Mhm.
which I feel like kind of gets a little overlooked. I really do like that one. But I think it's not our most popular, but it's definitely a good one. So that is also a really good one for blondes, or really anybody whose hair has been compromised or lightened, or just um, feels really flat and dull.
Mhm.
So the main purpose of the Trinity volume is to create volume, of course, but it also, because you're using a lot of the protein from the Trinity line, you're going to get a lot of strength and shine from it as well. So with that one, we use the Trinity shampoo and conditioner, and we also use the One Shot, which is our concentrated version of Trinity. And then when flat ironing and styling and finishing up that treatment, we use actually, I have it right here, our tonic,
Woo, getting away.
which is also a heat protectant. So if you are putting heat on your hair, it's definitely a good idea to use a heat protectant because that's going to just create a barrier and protect your hair longer. I also like to use it after a shower sometimes just because it puts a little extra protein in my hair.
Well,
What
Lord
else?
knows we need it now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
woo.
I know my hair is kind of dry. I'm like, I should have got more one shots, but that's okay. I'm heating, well, flattening it, flat ironing it less. So
Yes, we'll
that'll
just
do
use
it.
those masks, girl, and you'll be good.
Exactly. Yeah. What other treatments do we have that I missed? Well, I talked about the scalp facial a little bit. So that's our Awaken line. We use our scalp elixir, which helps to prep it. It helps to get those ingredients further down into your hair. So it gets it way down to the cellular generation zone, which is where everything begins. So it's where your hair starts as a liquid and then slowly becomes what we know as hair. So the benefit of it getting that deep down is that it's able to add those essential vitamins and things that we are lacking or maybe lacking. So it's going to give us better results by using that whole system. So we start with the elixir, and then we shampoo over top of that after massaging it in for about a minute, and then rinse out your shampoo. And by this point, your scalp will be nice and tingly. And that's when we use a mask, which is awesome. That's going to help get rid of any dead skin. It's also going to help promote that faster hair growth and healthy cell turnover and healthy scalp. And then, so after massaging that for about 7 minutes, you're feeling pretty icy, but it's pretty nice. And then we just rinse that out and do your treatment or the scalp elixir again to help get those treatment drops in further down in your hair. And then we do the treatment drops right at the end.
I
Um,
think it's important to note too, in particular with the Awaken mask, is that actually gets applied directly to scalp. It's not something that
yes.
goes on the ends. So your Awaken mask is acting more like the sloughing agent. So if you have ever used an exfoliator before and you polish whatever it is that you're exfoliating, it's your face, it's your legs, it's your hands, whatever, and that is what will remove all of that dead skin or that dry skin. So the Awaken mask is actually what does that in the Awaken line. So just making sure that you're applying directly to scalp, not necessarily the ends. You can couple any of the other masks with it on the ends if you felt like you needed some extra moisture, hydration, or frizz control, depending on your hair type and texture. But if you go back on our Facebook page, probably, do you know how long ago we did that scalp facial on your hands? Was that
Yeah,
in
I
like
was trying to think.
the end of February or so?
Yeah, it wasn't super long ago. It was probably a couple weeks before quarantine.
Ugh. But
The dreaded quarantine.
yes, but there was a really great visual representation. Emily's hands were a little bit dry that day, and we decided like an impromptu awaken hand facial for her in between guests, just so that we could kind of showcase, or for you guys to see what actually happens and how that product works. And then, because we can't always see what happens on our head, but you can see what's happening on your hands. So that was a really cool little experience.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was surprised how much it got off too, but my hands felt great afterwards.
Oh my God, they were like a baby's bum. They were
They
like
were.
so nice.
I tried doing it again at home, but since I don't have the mask, I used the conditioner and it wasn't
Mhm.
quite the same, but they still felt good after. So I
Yes.
think that mask is really great for like getting that exfoliating part of it.
It's like the heavy hitter. You
Yeah,
gotta, if
right,
you need the big stuff, you gotta use the big stuff.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that that was great to mention that you use it just on your scalp because that's definitely not traditional of masks. And I wanted to point out that the conditioner is also that way. So when I do my shampoo and conditioner in the shower, I'll do my Awaken conditioner at my root. But then since my ends are kind of compromised from lightening, I'll do my Trinity at the ends, which helps to give me some protein and some moisture as well.
You know what I'm hoping? Wayne should really come out with a Trinity mask. I don't know why he's waiting
Yes,
so
I was
long.
thinking that too. That would be so nice. I would definitely buy it like split
Wayne,
second.
if you're watching this, we need a
We
Trinity
need
mask.
it. Yeah.
And then I think the last one is the curls bake, which I know that we kind of talked about previously a little bit with your mannequin that we're going to post below.
Yeah.
Um, But that one too, just a reparative restorative treatment for guests with curly and or textured hair. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have like really, really curly hair. It just means that if you have any sort of texture. So 75% of all people have some sort of texture to their hair. So that's, majority of the people out there.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be getting into humidity soon. So, I mean, there's always that to help kind of buffer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love the curls mask. I think it really makes a big difference, and I saw a lot of it too when we did that class. Just seeing the befores and after on everybody's models, it
Mm-hmm.
was it was really cool.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I feel like it helps to bring back that curl and put back in what you're really lacking. I think a lot of curls products are based around adding moisture, which curls definitely need. But I love that they add the amaranth flower to also add the strength, which I think helps to give your curls that hold and that shape that they need.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I love all the knowledge you're dropping on us tonight.
Well, thanks. Learn from the best.
Oh, stop, you guys. So, while you've been in quarantine, what are you missing the most?
Uh, that's a good question. I never realized how much I relied on having like a schedule.
Oh
And
my God,
now
I
that I'm
can't.
off of it, I just feel like I'm like unraveling, and I'm getting better. I've been actually sleeping at normal hours. But and I think everyone's kind of feeling that right now, like all the memes and posts I see
Hmm.
online. It's like we're all in the same boat. So it's been tough with that. I just miss being able to go to work every day and see all you guys. And I know it sounds kind of weird, like who misses going to work, but like honestly, like the first week
Honestly.
it was like best vacation ever, and now I'm like, okay, now what? So
Hmm.
I'm anxious to go back and excited, but I think in due time it's better to wait and be healthy, of course.
It is. It is. And I was thinking about this earlier when I was cooking dinner. This is literally the longest amount of time since I've ever started working that I haven't worked. And it's making me so
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there who are just loving the shit out of this and day drinking and don't care, like, don't have, not to say that you maybe don't have responsibilities, but,
Right.
maybe you don't have kids or maybe you don't have whatever to worry
Right.
about. And maybe you're getting paid somehow or, unemployment's working for you. I don't know. But it's just literally mind boggling the amount of time, like there's so many hours in a day that I feel like you don't know are there when you're working, and then when you have nothing to do you're like, why is this day taking, like, why is it only, I don't even know what day, the 10th, the ninth, whatever day
I
of
don't know.
April this
Check
is.
my phone. The temp. I know, like, and that's another thing too. I'm like, what day of the week it is, or is it? I mean, just all
Yeah,
mixed up.
and I was just saying to in our private group chat with the salon team the other night, I was like, what the heck, I've been doing these podcasts almost every single night with everybody back to back,
Yeah.
and then last night was the first night we didn't have one. I was like, wait, what?
You
Well, how?
feel like you're
Who?
missing something.
Yeah, I'm like, who didn't? Who did I skip? Or what am I? Did I not write it down? What is going on? And that's been like the one constant thing that's been happening in my life. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? I can't talk to anybody.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I think we're like such creatures of habit that when something changes, it throws us all off. Like I was doing so good too. I had like my whole schedule planned out, and I had like a gym routine, and I feel like since quarantine, I almost need to like make a new schedule. That's
Hmm.
because like I don't know, I can't do the things that I normally did, which is fine, but it really just like throws you off.
Yeah, and I think too, there's so many different types of people. So like the people that just kind of lay around and do nothing, or the people who supplement their like gym routine with like tree stumps. You know what I mean? Like they're
Right.
out there getting crazy, and then there's like everything in between. There's no right or wrong, and there's no anything. I feel like there's just it's just like everyone's spinning their tires. I don't know.
Yeah.
Super weird. So what's
Yeah.
the first thing you're gonna do when we're allowed out?
Um, hmm. It's funny because like I'm not really the kind of person that does much, but then when they're like you can't do anything now, I'm like, well, what do I do? Um, so I don't know. I've been really wanting to plant a garden, and I know the stores are still open, I think, but I'm like, I don't know. Is it worth it? Should I do it? Because it's really not essential. But so I don't know. Maybe something like that. Like I said, I'm definitely excited to get back into work and make people feel beautiful again. So um,
Sounds
I'll
like the
just
best
be
day.
excited to get back into my schedule. Honestly, like work and gym.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything either about you or about the industry or about what you've been occupying your time with that you wanted to make sure that people know?
Um, that's a good question. I think, our our industry isn't necessarily essential, but I think it does like I know for me when my hair isn't looking the best, I'm really not feeling the best. So I totally get the struggle of not being able to get your hair done. And I know some people might say, like, it's just hair. And I'm not upset about being closed because I think that it's a good decision health wise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just want my guests to know that I'm missing you all. And I am more than happy to guide you through Zoom tutorials on how to do things yourself so that you can keep feeling good about yourself during this time. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's really it, and I'll be waiting for you. So
We're
no matter
waiting.
how you come back in, if your roots are down to your shoulders or if you waited, like I'm just happy to have everyone back. So
Yeah. So you actually taught our first virtual class.
yeah,
Tell us about that.
that was a lot of fun. So it was a younger girl. She was pretty new to makeup. So she just wanted some tips and stuff on I guess just makeup related stuff. So I gave her some brands that I really liked, and we went through a whole look. And I taught her like some tips and tricks and how I apply my makeup, um, eyeshadow wise, like what color you want on the outside, what color you want on the inside, where to put your highlight, things like that. It was really cool. So I really enjoyed that.
Awesome. So our virtual menu, actually, you can see it posted on both our Facebook and our Instagram. If you have any questions, you can certainly direct message the salon, direct message any of the artists that you might be interested in working with. But all of our virtual menu items are complimentary. If you feel as though your experience was exceptional, you can certainly leave your artist some gratuity that is paid directly to them. That obviously helps all of us in this time. Um, and also, our rooting for revolt, that was Emily's idea. So, why don't you give us a
Yeah.
little niblet on that too?
Yeah, well, I can't take full credit. It was actually one
Sure,
of
you
my
can.
guest ideas. Well, it was Nancy, and she's always so funny. So she jokingly suggested that we should like measure the guest with the longest roots and then make it a competition. And I love that idea. So we decided to make it a reality. And I love the name, the Rooting for Revolt. So I think it's a really fun way to kind of embrace your roots and just let your color grow out while you're at home. I mean, it's not like we really have too many people to impress. So it's a great way to take a break from your color, but also show us your support by not going and using a box color or something like that. And not that, I'm going to demonize anyone for doing that because I get it. We got to do what we got to do. But
Oh,
it
yeah.
does make it a little harder when we come in and have to rematch that color. So it's just a great way to help encourage guests to root for us while we're gone.
Yes. My biannual hair color has been canceled this year. So I do my lightener every 6 months. So you can see this is the last of my platinum from last year just on the ends there. So if I can go 6 months, not that I
Yeah.
want y'all to go 6 months, but you can go 6 months.
Yeah, and especially for blondes too. Like it just makes it so much easier to get a nice, beautiful result. Like lifting non-colored hair versus lifting professional color, or worse, so there were a box color. It makes it so much harder to get a nice lift from that. Box color is so unpredictable, so that's when you get a lot of like banding or like blotches of color here and there, and it makes it a little bit harder to get a nice even blend.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's easier on your wallet too, because then you don't have to shell out a ton of money for an hourly correction versus like your regular, maybe full highlight or partial highlight.
Mhm.
So
So,
it's worth it.
oh my gosh, yeah.
Patience.
Well, and we've all been talking to, again, in our group chat and our Zoom meeting, that whenever, hopefully May 1st, but who knows,
Fingers crossed.
whenever we can come back, that we're really stepping up our game as far as sanitation is concerned. We've got a
Oh, yeah.
whole new protocol as far as like a cleaning sheet and the specific timing of things. Um, in addition to that, we will not be booking in this start double booked appointments. So that way we don't have to worry about there's, too many people in the salon at one time. We will be adding an extra cleaning gap in between every single person, so we make sure that everything is properly sanitized. We're asking that no one brings any additional guests with them who are not having services done. So this will all be going out in an email too, but there's so many different ways of providing the guest experience that are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, that we're really making sure that we're staying on top of everything and providing the best service, not only for you, but also maintaining that health that is so important, because the last thing that everyone wants is when we're allowed back out again is for some kind of uptick in cases again, because I think that's probably the number one thing that most people are afraid of
Oh, yeah.
now, is in the future, we're getting on top of it now. I think today was the first day that we didn't go over the number previous from the last day with confirmed cases. So it's definitely a new and challenging adventure, to say the least, but just making sure that everyone's health and safety is our number one priority when we are able to get back up and running. So I know with that, Emily, you have some slightly changed hours for when we do open. Do you want to let
I
us know what those
do.
are?
Yeah, let me just double check because I have them written down. Um, Yes, so when I'm back, so normally I don't work on Thursdays, but in order to get everybody in, I'm going to take on my Thursdays. I'm also going to extend my Tuesday hours and my Wednesday hours just a little bit. So Tuesday through Thursday, I'm going to be in from 12 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be in from 9 to 4. And if I need to extend these hours even more, like depending on how long we're out or how difficult it might be to get people in, then I'm definitely considering doing that. But I think starting off, this will be a good schedule.
Awesome. Wonderful. So before we end our podcast tonight, is there anything else that you wanted to add or tell us about you, or anything that you've been doing in the meantime?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm not really exciting. I've just been, I don't
Not
know.
exciting.
Really though, I'm not. I mean, um, it's definitely nice to have this time to do all of the things that we say we don't have enough time for. So I'm trying to just stay grateful and realize that I do have it really good. I feel like I'm very fortunate. So my heart just goes out to all of those people who aren't as fortunate as me. But I think like either way, it's just a hard time for everyone. So I just want everyone to know that we feel you and we're here with you. And if anybody is having a really hard time right now, like I am more than happy to talk to you over direct messaging or just like, private texts. Yeah, because I think it can be hard, especially if you live alone.
Oh yeah, and I think there's a lot of, not mental problems in that sense, but like there's a lot of mental effery that's happening right now with all of this, whether it's
Yeah,
job related, house related, apartment related, bill, like there's so
for
many
sure.
unknowns right now that I think there's more people than we know that maybe just want an ear to talk to.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I will say, like, I personally suffer from depression and anxiety, and I have it under control, but it has been difficult. So I can kind of understand what people might be going through, and um, I think it's natural to have increased anxiety right now with everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, if you ever need anything, you can certainly reach out to any of us here. We love you all and miss you all beyond words. We can't stress that enough. And we're going to end on that note for our podcast number 5 with the beautiful Emily. And I just want to say thank you for taking your time this evening to chat with us. And I'll see you on Monday for Drunk Hairstory.
Yes. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for doing this with us.
Awesome. All right, my love. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.